This is Budleigh Salterton in East Devon, a town that's no stranger to fame. One of the most recognisable British pictures of the 19th century, Millet's Boyhood of Raleigh, was painted on the beach just down the road. Trollope's brother lived just up the road. And recently, the Booker Prize winner Hilary Mantel became one of its residents. No wonder then that the Budleigh Salterton Literary Festival, with now 3 successful years under its belt, is going from strength to strength. The list of distinguished writers that's descended on this charming seaside town is by any standards impressive. Not only Hilary Mantel, of course, the poet laureate Carol Ann Duffy liked her first visit so much she came back for a second. Michael Moore-Purgold, Sir Roy Strong, A.L. Kennedy and Jane Fernley-Whittingstall. They're just a handful of those who've taken part in our annual Bookfest. An articulate and highly engaged audience, a breath of sea air and excellent hospitality make Budleigh Salterton the perfect place for writers to meet their public.
Surrounded by a fringe of inquisitive, bright creatures, itself a silver shape beneath the steadfast constellations, Simon's dead body moved out towards the open sea.
Tell us about how you come up with these wonderful titles.
Well, it's my terrible urge, to do my own thing.
Yes.
I love thinking out titles, actually.
Oh, good. I love this story. Oh, I'm really looking forward to it.
Next day, Peter and I go to see Alec shooting his first scene. And Alec begin, and Pete, he dig me in the ribs. Fred. I said, what, Pete, what? He said, look, Alec, he's doing you. And Alec had worked it out for himself.
You know, what voice shall I use for Faisal? The young Arab boy in this picture, I'll use his voice.
Wait 400 years for a woman poet laureate, and 3 of them come along at once.
It can be embraced and enjoyed by anyone living within this realm of England, and it casts the country in Shakespeare's immortal words as this other Eden, demi-paradise. Can any nation ask for more?
Some say he came up with the Boleyns, the Queen's family. Some say it was wholly through the late Cardinal Wolsey, his patron. Cromwell was in his confidence and made money for him and knew his secrets. Others say he haunts the company of sorcerers. He was out of the realm from boyhood, a hired soldier, a wool trader, a banker. No one knows where he's been and who he's met, and he's in no hurry to tell them. When you read out my intimidating list of prizes, Helen, and I say intimidating because it frightens me, I have to say that day to day, line by line, doesn't get any easier. And everything that's in the past, prizes and whatever, you're not thinking about that when you're trying to crack the puzzle represented by the next paragraph. So the writing of a novel is intrinsically unpredictable. You never know when you're going to have to stop, stand back, and have a rethink about structure, motivation, characters, whatever.
What you're saying about the women is brilliant.
Sarah, I think it's incredible. I was such a discovery. I've never read Ford Madox Ford, I didn't know very much about him. At the end of the book, it tells you there's a Ford Madox Society, which I now think we should all join, actually.
Wood said to the king, One day, sir, you'll be doing this by television. And the king turns to me and says, well, I suppose you'll be under the table then, Logue.
When they are tired, Zwana has noticed some of them rub their eyes with their fists like small children. The convent's indefatigable novice mistress, Zwara Umiliana, is of the opinion that each new batch is worse than the last, more selfish and more prone to the vanities of life.
Can you just look up for 1 moment, Sarah? That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll go on our website.
And Hugh is a great one for getting his own children involved with cooking. I was rather shocked to see him handing a very sharp knife to a toddler and telling him to chop that onion. But it was okay because Hugh had taught them the correct, safe way to chop an onion, and they were doing that from quite an early age.
You surprised me. I didn't know there were any children in Budleigh Salterton at all. I thought everyone was my age. I was wrong. How nice to see you here, just so long as you behave. It is merely a tarnished old oil painting of some unknown horse by a competent but anonymous artist. To them, the picture is so familiar that it commands little attention. But those who look more closely will see, written in fading black copper plate writing across the bottom of the bronze frame, Joey, painted by Captain James Nichols, autumn 1914. Some in the village, only a very few now and fewer as each year goes by, remember Joey as he was. There's this American lady called Kathy Kennedy, who's a producer to Steven Spielberg and has worked with him on E.T. and Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan, and she happens to be in London with her daughter, and they were looking for something to go and see. She walks into Warhorse, she comes out, she picks up the phone. Well, no, you pick up the phone, do you? Take out your pocket. And rings him and says, Stephen, you've got to come over and see this. This is your next movie. And he comes over a week later, and he meets all the cast. 2 of them he appoints to the film, and within 9 months, this movie is made. I've never known anything like it. Films, as you probably know, take forever and a day to get the money. Well, he doesn't have to wait for money, he just does.
Everybody has worked extremely hard. The public has been extremely kind to us in the town. Everything has just gone perfectly, and I just hope it augurs well for all the other festivals like this that we're going to have in the town, and certainly in 2012 we're already thinking ahead for that. And it's the likes of people like Michael Mapergo who will tell everybody what a fantastic festival it is, so that others will come.